Hi everyone. Okay, so I'm doing it's another BTS member. Um, Thank you for asking for it. Um, but when I was doing this face, so I didn't really think of him this way, but his face is just amazing, and I didn't actually realize that. You know me, I either go elements, that sort of stuff, the feng shui side of it, palms, or your face from destiny, etc., etc. But he has a small face. It's actually not a big face. He has a small face. So hopefully that'll also help you grasp all the things on your face, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about as well. So I've divided his face into the three, and the biggest part of his face, as you can see when I'm actually talking about this, is this part. Okay, so heaven. This part is heaven. So that's he's growing up. It's the forehead part. This is smooth, but it's wider than others, and you can see how wide it is. So I've got a good picture of that to show you how wide it is. You can even see it in the picture just down here as picture one. You can see how wide that forehead is. It is just wide. It does have height as well, but in comparison to this part of his face, from the tip of his eyebrows to the tip of his nose, that is actually the biggest part, and that's the human side. It's that humanitarian. It's like the caring, the nurse, the doctor, the social worker, that kind of thing. So that's really that part, and that is, so this was 1.9 centimeters, and this was from here to here was 2.4 centimeters, when I measure it. It doesn't matter what size the picture is. I still do the lines where they're meant to go, and that's how I get that. And then the earth part, which is this, is 2.1. So the heaven part, which is the growing up 15 onwards, um, it doesn't count as much as afterwards, or he may reflect on it and think, whoa, because it is whoa. Okay, so he's that, because it's the human side, he's the person that is give, 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 give. Okay, remember I spoke, if you go back to Jimin's, that perfection, the detail, that kind of thing, into his dance, into his looks, into all of that. The guy just walks into a room and people's heads will turn. With Jungkook, with JK, he's more him. It's in his face as well. Like he wants to rise. He's got to rise. That's it. It's him, and he's got to prove that. Whereas this guy, Yoongi, or Sugar as they call him as well, his name is Min. I'm just going to call him Sugar. All right, you guys deal with that. So he has also, if you look at his ears, which I've got it actually, yeah, there in number 2, you can see that his ears go in line with his jawline. And I'll show you another jawline picture in a minute. So those ears, even though his ears don't go past the tip of his eyebrows, okay, ears are still intelligence. And you can see in some of the photos, they're not all the way back, they're there. So they are listening as well. They're just out a little bit. So he will have a time where he's rebellious. And that actually is before he turns 15. So he's not conforming to the norm, and he won't conform to the norm in that way. He doesn't have lobes. So as you can see, I've drawn that it goes all the way like that. So he does have money, but he's not the person who is making the money for the sake of money. He just enjoys everything that he's doing. He may not show he enjoys it, but he does enjoy it. Okay, and then he's got his eyebrows. So it's still in that picture number 2. So the eyebrows, his eyebrows are thicker in comparison. The thickness means powerful thinking, and his eyes also are more straight than arched. All right. And they do, though, taper all the way around his eye. As you can see, I've drawn that in a line. Tapers all the way around his eyes. So that is impulsive as well. So, the more, this is more like the ideas person. I do not want to be his head because I don't think, because of that, he's not in his 30s yet. So in his 30s, this is kind of like no off button. All right. I already have a no off button, so I don't want another one. And because his eyes are not as high, they're lower to where his eyes are, kind of thing, the impulse is even bigger. Now his eyes are not too close together. There's a very big gap in between here for him. That means he's got that attention to detail. He is into the detail of whatever comes through, that creativity, that intelligence. He is into that detail. Okay. The nose you can see in picture 3, you can see the nose, and you can see it, or actually it's also in there. You can see the nose, and you can see this part of it. So if I just say his left side, yeah, left. I'm just turning the nose around. All right, the tip is 47, the left side is 48, and that's 49. And they are very full. The tip of the nose is very, very clean, as you can see in picture 2 as well on the side. It's clean. The nose is also your wealth palace. So his nose, you can see there's like the line that goes like that, and it's like this. All right. So that's his nose. The nose is also your 40s. Okay. So 40, and it goes all the way down. He follows more on how he feels, not, he doesn't follow, how he feels about whatever he's doing, that kind of thing. What this nose says is this person has a purpose, he has a talent, let him put it out there, that kind of thing. All right, and then he's got what we call the Fa-Ling. So the Fa-Ling is this part here. So for him, you can only see his Fa-Ling if he's smiling. And the stronger his smile is, the more you can see it. I'm actually going to do this that way a little bit so you can see. Okay, see in picture 5 how that jaw, that it just carries all the way through. It is quite a strong jaw at the same time. All right, so with his Fa-Ling, which is that, and you can see it when he's smiling even more. So it's very strong. And what happens here is this is law and order. So he does have that law and order. And it only shows when he's smiling or he's got a little smirk on his face. And it goes all the way to the C corners of his mouth, right? And then it goes even further. But he's got to be smiling for you to see it. And that's kind of like he's allowing you to see it, that he does have law and order and that kind of thing. Okay, so his cheek lines, these are his cheeks, and you can see their cheeks are meant to be, how do I put it? They should be good enough to pinch, and he does have that. That's what I forgot. With the cheek line, because they're high, they are high cheeks. This is like a high-ranking official, okay? Like in ancient times, it's a high-ranking official. And that's actually why I've put that picture there, because he did a rap with the Mad King or whatever it was called, and he just is perfect in that. And the way he raps, it's called tongue technology, and you just can't keep up with it. Okay, he's amazing. If you ever get the chance to have a look at it. I'll put that. I might actually put this and show you what he's done with it. He's taken it from, the Mad King in wherever he was, and then it brings it into now, and there's a car doing burnouts, that sort of thing, which is very clever as well. All right, with the cheeks, as I said, they've got to be good enough to pinch. The cheeks have that smoothness, etc. That's maturity, but maturity changes, and you can see that when he smiles, his cheeks are even stronger. So that we call that a peacemaker in that way. Okay. Now with the mouth is your 50s. If you look at picture 7, that picture, it shows his mouth, and so does picture 3 shows his mouth, and we call that Cupid's bow. Okay, Cupid's bow means very good. He's totally good natured at the same time. And then in pictures 4, there's 2 of them to show you he has a gummy smile, gummy laugh, which also shows a carefree, fun-loving nature, but only when he's piss-farting around, when he's silly and light-hearted. He's not as serious, and when he's not being sensible, that's the only time you actually see it. It's difficult. It just shows you that for him, it's difficult for him to accept that he is this lovable person, because it only shows when he lets it go, and you see the gummy smile as well. He's not good at receiving, basically. I understand that. So because his teeth are part of the mouth in your 50s, then it's all logical, all right? So he hasn't got bad teeth. It's logical. He has logic in life, and he learns. By the time he gets to 50, his lessons in life are just amazing. He may not have any more lessons to learn. So, he's got the answer to life, that kind of thing, okay? With his jawline, as I said, the jawline in picture 2 and in picture 5, that jawline is strong. It's not as masculine as maybe, say, Jimin's is, because his is full on, like, I'm ready to go, but comfortable. And your jawline is like your 70s later on in life as well. But then he has a delicate stamina, because it's very delicate, but determined. Can you see that, how it juts out as well, that jaw? But his chin, which is before his 70s, so it's the 60s, not as strong, but it is rounded, which means there's a determination and there's virtue there as well. In that, and he succeeds safely. Okay, he's not the rebel type of thing of how, look how wide his forehead is. He just needed to bring himself back in and ground himself, because all that was rebellious in nature. The chin is wide, though. His chin is wide. Which means that he has a tough nature as well. I also want to point out in 7 and in 8, so you can see the Cupid mouth, etc. You can see how smooth everything also is. But he's in 7 with the red hair, with the ginger hair. You can still see Cupid's bow, and this is still like a little C. We call it that C. And then in 8, he does have a little smirk, and it just comes up. And if you covered his mouth, through his eyes, you could see he's still got that smirk. All right. So that's Suga's face. I know some of you have asked for the other members. I will get to them, I promise. Because I love doing this, and it's just that I discover so much in somebody's face, which you would too. When you're looking at a face, you would also discover so much as that. I'm just trying to find where I put the book. Anyway, you should just buy the book and then take a picture of your own face, outline everything, and then you'll see that. All right. And I love how everybody is giving me people to do their faces that I never thought I would do in the first place. But yeah, so yeah, what a handsome and very, very like this. He's going to be the person that is the fundraising person for the world or for whatever he can do. He he doesn't do things to get something out of it. He doesn't do that. But he will enjoy he enjoys life, once he's closer to his 30s. I actually don't know how old he is. I forgot how old he is. But once he gets closer to his late 20s into 30s, he starts to enjoy life so much more. And that is all here. It's just there. It's so smooth. There's a nice little, meanders around the eyes. So it's protecting his 30s, which is then, your eyes. Um, if you look at your eyebrows, so in the left side, so you've got the outer is 31, 33, 32, 30. So 30, 31, 32, 33. I've just got to imagine it to show it to you. And this is so smooth. His 30s is so smooth that, yeah, it's beautiful. And it's no longer that he thinks he's conforming like it was here and here. He doesn't feel that's not how his eyes they're thicker, they're powerful, and there's so many ideas with this guy's head. So good luck. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. And he is very handsome, by the way. All right. Thank you all.